Hey peeps, so this is going to be a different format from what I normally do. I decided to do a more in-depth analysis on the Choose Your Legend units that are going to be coming out fairly soon. At this point, I hope most people would have watched the video for Choose Your Legends. If not, probably pause the video and watch it. I should have the link within the description of this video. But other than that, I'm just gonna have some initial thoughts, discussion, and how I think about the units, how they're gonna be positioned in the game, and just in general, which units I think are gonna be really good, and probably the units you should probably really consider pulling, assuming you don't have a favorite. I mean, end of the day, you should really be pulling like your free unit for your favorite. It's never guaranteed you're gonna get your unit after 100 orb, 200 orbs with gacha. It's never guaranteed. But that aside, I will go into the actual characters. So I do have all the characters here. So here are the characters and the weapons and some initial skills that they've shown off. So I already briefly touched upon it last time, but of looking at this base, Lucina and Ike are probably the best two units straight off the bat. Not Lucina. Lyn and Ike are probably the best two units right off the bat. Lucina is pretty good, but she has a ton of competitions from physical blue units at this point, and the blue units just full of really good units. Same thing with Roy, full of really good units at this point. Ryoma, Ike, well, Red Ike, and Xander. So he has a lot of competition. Meanwhile, the greens, unfortunately, greens don't have a lot of units going for them. They have Hector, Julia, and Nino, Sonya. Most of those are mages. There's not a lot of good physical greens. And then for Lyn, her strongest competition for grays are Bridelia. And Bridelia, it was a limited time unit. Most people don't have her. So she's not only that, she's on a horse. So she gets the horse buffs. So that aside, with just that already positions them to be really good. But based on the video, people found that there is some data now for how they're probably gonna look. So I'll start off with Lyn because she's the most relevant. I'll go through all the characters. First, I'll just show off stats for both Roy and Lyn, which were in the videos, and then I'll go through each character from worst, in quotations, to the best, in my opinion. So, alright, let me just put this in. So that's Lyn and second, and then Roy. So just looking at them right now, those stats are ridiculous. I never expected her have a base speed of a 35. Assuming these are both neutral. I'm just assuming these are neutral. They very well could be plus IV'd in one stat or another. But assuming they're not, that is really good speed for a bow cav, really good attack, and pretty decent res. Roy, really good speed, really good attack, and decent defenses. He's positioned already to be the best offensive red, which he already thought it already looked like it just based on his initial skill set. But that's that. I'm just gonna go in and go from bottom to top. So I will put Roy and Lynn away for right now. But that just gives you an idea how, if these characters already have these stats, it's very doubtful that the other Choose Your Legends won't have really, really good stats. So with that aside, it's already looking like they're all gonna have at least decently good to very good stats. Alright. So, I think with that side, the worst, again, unit is probably going to be, oh, give me a second. Let me just put this all the way down. Very professional, I know. Worst unit, probably gonna have to be Lucina. And it's not because she's looking bad, but the other units are just so much better. There's tons of competition at this point for good blues. There's so many good mages. And there's Reinhardt. There's so many good blues. It's hard to really justify being able to like put what looks like an infantry blue onto your team. Her weapon's good. She's gonna be a great kind of like support unit. And her drive speed, I mean, +3 speed, like within 2 spaces, that can't really be ignored. Delthia's drive attack was good for a reason. While you could say +9 attack is just different from +6 speed, and that's a legitimate argument. But I mean, it's speed is speed. Attack is attack. Both those are the best stats in the game. So she'll be, just by being near someone, assuming they're a physical unit like bow, sword, lance, or dagger, she's gonna give them +3 attack and +6 speed within 2 spaces, which is pretty dang solid. She's going to probably be among the better blues, but it's hard to tell. Just off the bat, it's hard to tell how good she's going to be until we see her actual stats. But as of now, I would not be excited to try to pull another blue, assuming you have all the other blues right now. Don't get me wrong, she's not going to be bad. She's probably going to be among the better blues in the game. But when her competition is others, I can't really justify saying she's going to be the best unit to try to pull. I wouldn't waste my free pull on her. So next will be Roy. So these are the stats. I briefly touched on them just a little while before. His sword is really good. It's a heavy blade. It also gives +3 attack, and he's also comes with Gale Force. Based on this kit, assuming it's not inherited, he will come with what looks like it will be a combination of darting blow and also armor blow, which will mean he will get +4 speed and +4 armor. I mean, it's not the best A skill, but it's not a bad one. I would say it's I mean, it's not Swift Sparrow. It doesn't give attack and speed, but it's decent. And the advantage is okay. I mean, if you really wanted to make the best Roy possible, you'd probably replace his A skill with Distant Counter, because Distant Counter on a unit is generally one of the better skills you can have in his A skill if they don't have it innately. So he's probably going to be the best offensive melee red on a horse. I know that's very specific, but considering we have Eldigan and Xander, which are pretty dang good by themselves, he's gonna be sitting ahead of the pack. 34 speed means he's one of the fastest horse units in the game. assuming that's neutral, if he gets a speed boon, that's 37. You put that into horse bus, that's 43. And he's hitting 57 slash 57 attack with 43 speed. That's just ridiculous, and that's before assuming you put into like a fury on his A skill or something, or a gold. He's gonna be really solid. But some initial thoughts, just looking at his weapon, I am a little hesitant to say how it's gonna work. It looks like Heavy Blade, but there's one specific text that's missing on it, and that's Heavy Blade specifically has a line that specifies each attack will give the +1. This does not have that part. So, if that's true, it might mean that he will not be able to proc stuff like Gale Force on 2 attacks. So, even if he gets hit, and then attacks again, you'll get a total of 4 procs from Gale Force from 0. So, I mean, that would mean he won't auto get Gale Force, which could be a pretty big deal, considering one of his earliest looking niches is going to be proccing, killing someone, and then getting Gale Force right away. Even if unit, I don't know. It's looking like he's gonna be pretty solid. I still think he's gonna be one of the better horse swords in the game. But I mean, if you have Xander, he already comes in. He already has his niche as the tank, so you'd be replacing basically a red with an offensive sword. And he does not come with this encounter, so he can't really like just bait as well as Xander. I think he's gonna be good though. And based on his stats, he's looking good. Those are from the actual video. They might have changed, but if we're just going based on that video, he's gonna have enough defenses to be solid. He's gonna have really good speed for a sword, and he's looking to be one of the better units. So after that, I know people will disagree with me in talking about Lin as the second best, but I do have a soft spot for Ike that I'm not going to lie. So I'm just going to go into Lin first, and I'll try to explain why I like Ike a little bit more after Lin. So these are Lin's stats. She is fast, 35 base speed, and then she gets +3 more from her weapon. And not only does that give +3 speed, it also comes innately with the ability to counter all blade tomes. The text just says all bonuses from skills are just nullified when she's in combat with them. So all of those plus bonuses will just not be in effect. It will just be a normal, I believe it's 14 amount tome against her. So they're not going to get their huge like 30 amount like tome hitting you. It's just going to be a 14 like hit. That means they're a lot less scary. And not to mention she's decently fast. It also means she won't be getting doubled by pretty much any of those. So that's where they're like her default kit. I very much don't think it's hard to tell which one is going to be the inherited part because she has 3 skills on this video. Either she has inherited Swift Sparrow or she's inherited a C skill that is different. That looks like it's threatened attack. So I want to say she does not come with threatened attack, and she instead comes with Swift Sparrow because it matches more with her total kit. But yeah, she's gonna be probably the unit to pull, assuming you don't have Bridelia. Just because, and I know this is counterintuitive because I do think Ike is better. She's gonna be the unit to pull because I cannot recommend pulling gray units. There's too many useless skill inheritance in the gray pulls. Too many 5-star healers. Too many units with no skills to inherit. It's not worth it. I couldn't recommend doing it. In comparison, green, blue, and red have enough skill inheritance like units to pull. There's always Hinatas, long Qs in red. In blue, you have Shaunas and Odins. In green, you have the Barters and Bars for reposition. You have the Phase for a renewal, and the gray has Klein for death blow, and it's hard for me to really think about. Like, there's Matthew for home speed 3. I don't know. I just couldn't recommend it. There's just too many 5-star healers. Like, if you pull a green and happen to get a Minerva, you're gonna be happy. It's a Minerva. Meanwhile, you pull gray, you get a 5-star Maria. Are you really gonna be happy with that? I can't recommend it. So, I would 100% recommend pulling Lyn from your free orb, assuming you value how good a unit is very heavily. Then Lyn's the one to pull. But that's that. Back on topic on her. I mean, she also has the ability to not get countered due to her B skill, so she comes with an inherent ability of Fire Sweep on her B skill. That's really good. It means you can attack characters like all the DC units, such as Ryoma, Ike, Hector. You can chip them down, which is really nice. It means Vantage is not an issue. It's ridiculous. It's one of the best skills, and I'm so happy it can't be inherited. It would be too good. I mean, she does have issues in terms of she can't attack mages and not be countered, but because of her bow, her default preferred bow, she does not take a ridiculous amount from Blade Tome damage. She's gonna be the premier counter for Flying Emblem. She will be decent at infantry, and she will have trouble against horse ones. Just because I believe every version of Ryan with Death Blow and horse buffs will still kill her, assuming Quicken Pulse and Moonbow. Assuming you're not getting like a plus res Lyn or something or another. I believe most versions will just die to that Ryan. So she's gonna be good. There is some argument that people could say, hey, why don't I inherit a Bravo? I can't recommend that. Not only because you lose her +3 speed because of her bow, so you're losing 8 speed. So you're going down to 30 speed already. Then you have to make up for that. You're gonna have to give her life and death, putting her back to 35. And because of her B skill, you can't run. You could run Red Desperation, but do you really want to give up her B skill for that? I feel like it's a waste. I feel like you're not only are you hurting what she's meant to be, but you're trying to make her like a vanilla unit. I can't recommend it. You could, but I don't think it's worth it. So, yeah. The other thing is, because of the way her kit is set, it'll be hard to justify running Desperation or Cancel Infinity. So she will have trouble with certain Raven Tomes. So just keep that in mind. She is really good, and she is definitely the unit I would recommend getting your free pull on. And then finally, the last unit I will touch upon is Ike. I think Ike is the most anti-meta unit in this banner. He is really good. Initially, I thought he was broken because I thought his B skill made it so he's effective, like Poison Dagger was to infantry, to horses, and also flyers. But people have found that that's probably debunked because of the way the Japanese is phrased. That it does not. It actually meant that it only is effective. The effect of his B skill of nullifying buffs is only affecting the flying and calves. So that means he doesn't counter infantry tomes, if this is true, which is a shame. I was really looking forward to that, but I mean, you can't have everything. The big thing about his set is he is probably going to be very similar to Ike in that he's going to be pretty decently fast, and he's going to be pretty decently bulky and really high attack. And not only that, his weapon has probably the best skill passive of any of these, like in terms of the attack, defense, speed, because it's accelerating special trigger is like pretty much invaluable. Like just automatically having -1 means if he tanks 2 hits from stuff like Rhine, he will automatically get Bonfire, he will automatically proc it, and he will always kill a Rhine. It's hard to tell if he can actually tank a fully optimized Rhine. I've done some calcs, even if he's green, assuming he has similar bulk to a base Ike, he does need a lot of, he would need to in order to tank a Death Blow plus attack, Moonbow, Quicken Pulse, Rhine, he would need HP plus 3 seal. He would need to get, if assuming you had another unit with Fortify Res 1 seal to buff his Res by 2, he would still need 2 more HP to survive that, assuming equal merges. Maybe he'll become a higher Res or higher HP, but it's hard to say right now. But I mean, that just gives you an idea how tanky he is. Being able to ignore buffs is really nice. Oh, I actually just remembered. Because of the way his axe works, he should actually be able to tank most of those, actually, because of the 80% reduction on the second attack. So, I'd have to redo the calcs on that. But it does mean he will probably be able to tank pretty much every version of Rhine. I'm taking a limb on this because my calcs before where him barely surviving, and taking away 80% of that damage probably means he will survive every variant of Rhine at equal merge and up to a couple of merge levels above him. So he's going to be really tanky. It's hard to say how good he's going to tank other units. He's the unit I would highly recommend giving Bonfire and Distant Counter, assuming he doesn't come with Distant Counter. I really hope he does, but if he does not, I'm going to inherit that on him, and he's probably going to be one of the best anti-meta units in the game. He's going to be really good at tanking Blade Tomes. He's going to be really good at tanking quad builds from bows, because they're going to do tickling damage to him once the first attack hits. The only caveat here is, because of the way it's worded, it's unclear if the 80% reduction is any attack after the first, in terms of, let's say he's attacked, he counterattacks. It's unclear if the 80% reduction is also in effect again. Or if, because he attacked in between, he takes 100%. It's hard to say. I'm going to assume he takes 100% after his counterattack. But if it's not, he's gonna be one of the tankiest units in the game, one of the best anti-units, anti-metagame units in the game. So, as of now, it's hard to say how good he's going to be, but I'm going to hope on him, and I'm going to probably pull on him. I almost hope he's an armor unit, just because he gets some extra stats that will bolster his bulk. But if he's an infantry, that'll still be fine. So, yeah. Those are some initial thoughts. So, the TLDR on this is every unit's good. I would use my free unit 100% pull on Lin, just to avoid pulling on Greys. And I would highly recommend possibly looking into Ike. As of now, he might become worse depending on stats, but I definitely think Ike and Lucina, Ike and Lin are the two to look at, and Roy and Lucina are not to be slept on, but I would not exclusively pull on them if you're pulling just based on stats. So yeah, that's that. I'll probably have an update video on these units when we actually have stats, so we can actually see how good they actually are. But yeah, if you guys like this, feel free to comment. Let me know if you disagreed with anything. Also, feel free to let me know. This was kind of an experiment to see how this works. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and hope you all have a nice day. See ya.